the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
Unbelievable.
I may do this so that I can.
No, if we're all the same.
No. I'm just gonna. No, here's.
Does this to me on the show.
No.
By the way, the show has started. This is how we start the show, is by Jacob screwing things up. So here's what happens, though, Jakey.
So I'm guessing he's been napping on the road trip quite a
That whole
bit.
time.
You've been driving.
He was literally snoring yesterday as we were driving into to Austin.
These are false allegations. No, they're very true. No, you're right. Our volume all has to be the same. But I'm on a couch.
You always want to be the loudest.
Yeah.
But you talk the loudest.
You're
so
right.
you're closest to the microphone and you have the most projection.
So you already won. You already won that. You already won that battle.
I won.
You just want to do the ASMR.
Yeah, let's go full NPR, guys. Come on, we got to talk about NadaMoo like this. We got to go, oh, yeah, well, that's a really great place.
But then the coffee cup needs to be hotter.
Yeah.
So you have to hold it very close to you.
Here we are in Austin, Texas. Well, actually...
So, we think we got to give away... We can't do our usual, we're waiting to tell the secret because now you can see... Because we're here actually live at NadaMoo.
We are live at... What the heck is
That's
NadaMoo?
live.
Yeah.
It's
It's live.
live to tape.
Yeah, live to tape. Well, this is the Biofriendly Podcast, and we're traveling. It's kind of like a road show this time around.
Yeah,
This is great.
Yeah.
And we're in what city, Noel?
We're in fantastic Austin, Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And who do we have, Jacob?
We have Daniel Nicholson from NadaMoo. Welcome.
NadaMoo. Thank
you,
you.
Daniel,
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for making the trip out. It's great to have y'all. We've been having a lot of people come to Austin recently.
Yeah.
There's a lot of growth, a lot of people moving to the city, and so happy to have you all here.
Yeah, we're thrilled. And all the people I would tell, I'd be like calling my wife, and I would say, yeah, we're meeting with NadaMoo. And when you hear it in passing, it's like not a moo, not a moo.
That's the first thought that people have is, wait, did you say not a moo? Which makes sense too.
It does.
But it's not a moo.
Yeah. So I guess let's start.
It's a great name.
It is a great name.
It's a great name because it does describe, no matter if you've got it right or wrong, it describes exactly what you're getting.
Absolutely.
Which is dairy-free, gluten-free, non-GMO ice cream.
Yeah.
Which seems impossible that you can have ice cream that doesn't have. Because literally cream is.
It is impossible.
Right.
I haven't. Yeah. I don't believe it. I believe that all those.
But Jacob, while you were in here setting things up and making things all fantastic for us to get going, do you know what I was doing?
What were you doing?
I was eating ice cream. At 9 o'clock in the morning.
I have a thankless job.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, I was like, hey, I should try out I want to eat the ice cream. He was thrilled that I was willing to have dessert at this hour. Little does he know that I always have dessert. I'm I'm a sweet
dessert first mentality.
Exactly.
That's what we love at NadaMoo.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to say then after eating the ice cream is how. Are you allowed to tell us how? Because
up to a point. I bet you he's got like the secret.
No, give a whole recipe from beginning to end. Exactly how we can do this at home.
Listeners, grab your notes, and this is how you can open your own NadaMoo.
Oh my god! I was expecting something kind of like Diet Coke, right?
Yeah,
it's the same maybe, but it's not the same, But I couldn't believe it. It was really good. It was really good. I thought it was ice cream.
Yeah, and that's what drew me to the company initially, right? To be able to eat ice cream that has no dairy in it. Fully plant-based ingredient list, organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, all the things you said, to be able to consume a frozen dessert like that and to have it taste just like ice cream and deliver on lower calories, lower sugar, zero cholesterol, lower carbs. It's a much better for you option, much healthier option. And really, there's no, the recipe is the secret, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to tell you. You can tell what ingredients are in there if you look at the ingredient statement. We're not going to tell you percentages of what's in that. That's really where the magic is. But really, we make it just like regular traditional ice cream too. There's nothing special about the manufacturing process. We work with co-packing partners, is what we call them. We have manufacturing partners with ice cream plants that we work with to make the product. And these plants also make dairy-based ice cream products. Take it through the exact same process, pasteurization, the flavor vats. We take it through the refrigeration process. There's nothing different about how it is made. Okay. It's just the ingredients that we make it with. Yeah. That's it. It's not there's nothing special about it beyond that magical formulation where we have wizards and fairies and all sorts of things.
Sure.
Sprinkle fairy dust in it at the end. Like that's where the secret sauce
You can't do it
is.
without the fairy dust.
And we would never let you record that portion of the process.
No, we'll cut the fairy part out of it. That. We definitely won't share
and
that.
Here's what you don't know is happening, which is you've seen Willy Wonka, and so I'm definitely holding the everlasting gobstopper behind my back. And we're going to be getting in the car. It's basically the secret recipe of NadaMoo. And then I'm going to have a change of heart.
And you're going to give it to Slugworth?
Slugworth's expecting the everlasting gobstopper. And then I'm going to
get him. Because he made a deal.
He
walked. He's going to give your family could be safe. You're poor. All those grandparents sitting in the bed together.
Get out of bed finally.
Finally.
And so, but what I do is I have a change of heart and I come back in and I go, I can't do that to Daniel. NadaMoo.
And
then Daniel's going to put you in a magic elevator.
And
a walk-elevator, excuse me. And then you're going to go shooting through this guy.
That's it. That's how this story ends, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us for the podcast.
We're really grateful that No, that's amazing. So I got to know, like, how many years has this been, like, when did this magical fairy tale story begin?
Yeah, so the company was founded in 2005. The story starts here in Austin, Texas. Our founder and the creator of the recipe created it for her sister, who had just been diagnosed with lactose intolerance, severe lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance. She could no longer eat all the things. And our founder had a background as a natural pastry chef.
Oh wow!
And her sister was a lover of ice cream, as most of us are, right? And her sister was devastated that she would no longer be able to eat ice cream and enjoy it the way that she always had. And so our founder, with her background, was just like, you know what? I'm going to work on a dairy-free ice cream recipe for my sister.
Cool.
They went to Whole Foods Market, of course. I'm sure y'all passed it on your way here. Is only about 1.5 miles away from our headquarter office here, where we sit currently. And so their first thought was, let's go to Whole Foods. Let's see what dairy-free ice cream products are on the shelf.
Right.
We'll taste them all. And they did. They went to Whole Foods, bought all the existing dairy-free options off the shelf, had a big tasting party, had a big ice cream party, and they were disgusted.
Really?
I was expecting to be. I gotta be honest with you. I thought I'm gonna have to hold my nose and pretend like this is really good, and then talk about all of the valuable things you're doing for the environment. The entire podcast. I was really pleasantly surprised to have enjoyed the ice cream as much as I did. Just to put that out there.
And so at the time, again, this is 2005. Now we're all talking about dairy-free and plant-based, and what how can we do better? How can we do better for the environment? Eat better things. But at that time, I mean, the products on the shelf in the dairy-free space were really catering to a very niche vegan consumer market. Right?
Got it.
Very niche, very strict vegan, plant-based consumer market. So at the time, the only bases that ice cream was being made off of were rice milk, soy milk. And almond was kind of the new thing, right? That was they were the new kid on the block. But you tried all the products; they weren't creamy. They were very chalky. You almost had to get like an ice pick and stab them for a bit until you could free up enough to put in a bowl. And so our founder and her sister were just like, there has to be a better solution, and that's really what. That was a situation for which the company was kind of, was created. And our founder was like, why has coconut not been used yet? It has high saturated fat content, which would mimic the dairy application pretty well for ice cream. Creaminess, that fat gives the ice cream texture and body and mouthfeel. And so that thought alone created the foundation for her recipe creation. She started tinkering with coconut milk and coconut milk recipes. And got to a place where, what you just tried moments ago, she created the foundational recipe that we could then just begin to put flavors on top of. And, so 2005. I mean, very, very much pioneers of this category that we really feel like us and some of the other early players have put the non-dairy frozen dessert category on a different trajectory, driven by taste, driven by product experience, And yeah, that's where we've been playing for the past 16 years plus now. Kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Driven by taste is the key, because in sustainability and in green, you can do things that are driven by the goal to help the planet and do the right thing. But if you're not factoring in taste, you're going to have a problem.
The consumer cares about taste.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
this guy does.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You didn't want to have to lie through this whole podcast and be like, no, it's really great. I love it so much.
No, but you're right. It's just true. It's true. But what I think that's like, you're finding that in we've found that in the environmental industry, right? In the environmental business. I don't know what you even call it. In the environment.
The green,
right?
The green space.
In order for anything to take off, it has to keep up. It has to be as good as whatever the other thing was. Because people don't, as much as everybody says I care about the environment, everybody says that we're green, and everybody says that, and I think people really do try. That's one thing we've found. People really do try. Yeah.
But you have to make it easy for them.
You have to make it easy. You almost like Tesla nailed it because they made it better, right? They made something that, apart from the it can be difficult still to charge it up if you're on a long road trip. But if you're at home, you've got a faster car that is better for the environment and more fun to drive and has a cool big screen and all. And right, that's how you do it. So to have, like, I think in ice cream it's the same. If you want people to have less dairy and make it so that we can eat less cows and have less cows, at the milking away, then you're going to have to make something that competes, something that steps up. And I don't like coconuts at all.
You don't?
I did not taste the coconut.
Yeah,
there was no coconut in there.
I love to hear that, because we have gotten that, as you can imagine, over a 16-year period, creating trial with the consumer. We hear back from them via email, in social media, in comments, DMs, whatever. People are like, I don't even like coconut.
Yeah.
And I love this product. And that for us is really what sets us apart too, right? There are other coconut milk based products on the market. Most of them are a lot more coconut forward. You taste coconut in every flavor. I don't care if you're tasting chocolate or strawberry or vanilla. Coconut is present in all of them. And that's fine. People who love coconut, absolutely. Like, maybe our product isn't yours. Maybe you want to taste coconut and everything. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to be a one-to-one replacement for ice cream. The fact that we make the product with coconut doesn't even really matter. Like, it's foundational to our recipe and to our formulation, but that is not, it's not important to the end product, because we just want whoever, whether you like coconut or not, we want you to be able to consume that and just be totally satisfied by being able to consume good ice cream without dairy.
Yeah, is there a coconut flavor NadaMoo? Is there a
there was, but it didn't sell very well. so NadaMoo had a coconut flavor. We called it creamy coconut. And we've discontinued it.
Because nobody was buying it
years ago. It does not compete with vanilla and cookies and cream and chocolate and marshmallow stardust.
What's the highest seller? Is it what you'd expect, vanilla?
We are a vanilla people, right?
Wow.
It's kind of boring, right?
Safe,
like it's boring boring to get to that place where you're like, man, for all the cool things that we make as an ice cream company that we're so jazzed about and excited, like, in America, like, vanilla is king, and our vanilla and our mint chip are pretty much head to head. Our mint is really good. If you like mint chip ice cream, even if you don't, our mint chip ice cream has made a lot of believers out there. It's right there with vanilla.
I think it's worth mentioning, by the way, vanilla gets a bad rap, and maybe we can be the ones to change it.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, vanilla is the slang that is used when something is boring.
Yeah.
But I love vanilla, and from what you're telling me, so does everybody else.
Consistency.
So we got to come up with a different term than, like, somebody says, like, well, you know me, I just make all these vanilla choices. It's like, well, those are great choices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we need to pick a new word, because it's not fair. It's not fair. I love vanilla.
Okay, so the official new name for vanilla when talking about flavor is awesome.
Awesome. So this is awesome flavor.
Yeah.
And then vanilla.
But I kind of get it though, because it's like it's almost like a a base, right? Like if you're gonna try, like what's
you're part of the problem, Noel.
I'm definitely part of the
you're a
problem.
vanilla hater. No, go on. You have a point that you're making.
Look, you can have vanilla. You can put M&Ms in your vanilla. You can throw some chocolate sauce in your vanilla. And you can throw in your gummy bears.
You can put it on cake. You can put it on pie. You can. It's
there's something awesome about knowing that we have a very tasty base that you can use for almost
tasty base.
I want a song called Tasty Base immediately.
Yeah, anyway. Which is after Tasty Bass.
Yeah.
Which is an earlier.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think like there's. I don't know, when people say, well, it's kind of vanilla, I don't think that bugs me so much. I'm like, yeah, okay, so it's
part of the problem.
So it's safe.
No,
so
it's fine.
good.
It's safe, yeah. It's the cautious choice.
Yeah. Well, I need to find my people that are ready to say that vanilla is no longer as safe, that it's
awesome
just
flavor.
as great as chocolate, it's just as bold as Rocky Road or whatever it is. Anyway.
Well, chocolate is like it's almost like another vanilla in some. I mean, you're pretty safe. Most people would probably be like, if you're going to give them chocolate ice cream, most people say, yeah, that's fine. I'll take chocolate ice cream, right? And that's probably number up there.
It's crazy, though. Chocolate in the ice cream world, at least from what we've seen in the data, chocolate has, fallen off.
Really?
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, it's not up there with vanilla the way that you would think. Our chocolate it's probably off the top of my head, probably top 5 to 7 SKU, but it's not number 2 or 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I would not have expected
So vanilla
that.
and mint chip,
vanilla, mint chip, cookies and cream. Those are top 3. Yeah, it's a classic, another classic.
People's chocolate tastes are kind of changing anyway, because if you go anywhere nowadays, it's always
dark?
Dark or salted
Super
caramel.
bitter,
It's like people are getting into these we're getting weird with our chocolate. You know what I mean? Like the chocolate, and so maybe it's becoming harder and harder to put that into an ice cream that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe? Chocolate, the vanilla to you is the chocolate to me.
Yeah.
If you're having... so you're saying vanilla is awesome, it's amazing, we should just love vanilla. That's how I feel about chocolate. Like when people are like, well, chocolate's such a basic choice, that's so boring. I'm like, yeah, but I was about to say a swear word again, and you're going to have to beat me. but forget you. I want my chocolate.
Yeah.
Because again, it's another thing, you can throw you can mix it with stuff. You can put things in the chocolate as a base and have a really...
but
throw some Kit Kats in there.
Then you must know my plight. Then, if you know the feeling, that's what I'm saying about vanilla. People use vanilla.
You guys are kindred spirits.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why
we're just different.
You just want to be heard.
I guess that's why we have a podcast. So back to NadaMoo. Where did the name come from?
So the name was actually born from a local marketing agency.
Okay.
Yeah, our founder, as she decided that she was going to create a business. Well, so back to the story of how it kind of first came to be.
Sure.
Because it's an important point to this. She had started to sample her recipe on friends and family. Everybody having the same reaction, like, "Wow, this is incredible ice cream!" Like, if you didn't tell me that this had no dairy, we would have never known.
Yeah.
That was the reaction over and over. Yeah. So that's what was getting her excited. So one day she decides to ask a friend who owns a local juice shop, hey, do you mind if I pop in and provide samples to whatever consumers will take of my coconut milk-based ice cream? Still no brand, no company yet.
Yeah.
He's like, sure, pop in. So she sets up and she's, serving samples to whoever comes into this juice shop. Well, in walks a buyer from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Oh. This is Austin, circa 2005. Whole Foods is here. Smaller town, much smaller town than it is today. And she's at this juice shop, and this guy's like, "Hey, could I get a sample of that?" He tries it. Same reaction. Oh my God, this is incredible ice cream. Like you're making this with coconut milk? She's like, yes. He's like, I'm a buyer at Whole Foods Market. If you can build a brand around this and put it into packaging, I'll put it on the shelf at Whole Foods.
Wow. That's a great start.
And so she had no brand. She didn't know her legal obligations as a future food manufacturer, what needed to go on the label or how she even needed to get to the point.
She was just trying to make
she was just like, I made this at my house for my sister and it's great. Like, you think so, Whole Foods guy? And so that was the moment where she's like, oh man, I need to build a brand. What's it going to be called? And so, I'm sure they started sourcing names within friends and family. They probably weren't really happy with any of it. They're like, let's get some professionals to do this.
Yeah.
And so there was a local marketing agency that no longer exists. But they were the ones that came up with NadaMoo, and everybody just instantly loved it. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's descriptive. Here in Texas, me personally, I'm of Mexican-American descent, like the Spanish word nada. And I think there were just a lot of things that a lot of people really loved about it. And they're like, like NadaMoo, that's big. Like that has staying power.
It really does.
It does.
And
it flows.
So that's where it came from. Thank you to that marketing agency for just thinking outside the box and giving us a brand name that can now be seen in 11,000 stores throughout the country, grocery stores.
11,000, that's awesome. And the exclamation point.
The exclamation point's important.
That's key.
That's key.
Because if you're gonna throw the exclamation point in there, this is a shouted name.
You're yelling it, you're screaming it, and I'm sure y'all have seen. I've been involved with the company for over 13 years, and when I type NadaMoo, always exclamation point.
You have to.
Always. Like I'm sure we exchanged some emails. And if I put NadaMoo, there's an exclamation point every single time.
And I wrote it a couple times without it, and I was like picking up. I was like, I'm really blowing it.
You're doing it wrong.
I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And you can't
learn how to spell NadaMoo.
I know. And you can't do a question mark. You can't go NadaMoo.
No.
Ellipses, NadaMoo. So it's you gotta have the. It's like Panic at the Disco.
Right.
NadaMoo.
Yeah. Panic at the Disco. There was a capitalized A afterward. It was like Panic. I was surprised by the good grammar.
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco.
They thought it through.
Yeah.
But that's great. That's a great story. And so have you? So we're in this really cool space, which we're going to share with our audience some cool videos and photos and all that of the NadaMoo space. But how long have you been where you are now, and where was the original operation coming? I mean, it was obviously that lady's kitchen for her sister.
That is where it started. So the scoop shop, which we started our morning in, we moved into that shop in the summer of 2008.
Okay.
So still pretty new, and when you look at the full duration of the existence of the business. And this office space, we moved in maybe about a year later, maybe like 12 to 18 months, somewhere in there after we moved into the scoop shop. So this headquarters space that we're in right now is still relatively new. Previously to this, we had an office space off of North Lamar, very very rough warehouse-looking space. We're in the food business. Margins are small. And every step of the way, we've just kind of continued to, for one, build a team, and we need to continue to find spaces that we can all work in harmoniously. This space is great. We love the location. Love that it's connected to our scoop shop.
It has a secret clue style door.
It does.
Where you can go from the billiard room across to the library.
It's like a speakeasy, speakeasy like ice cream shop concept.
I love it. I had one of those in my house as a kid. A secret passage.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd it go to?
It was literally, so you would be in my brother and I's bedroom, and the shoe shelf or whatever, it had like a shoe shelf, and you pull on it, and it would be an attic passageway that would lead you to another room. It was built into the house when I was a kid.
Panic room.
It was amazing. It was so cool.
Panic.
Panic at Jacob's childhood home.
At my childhood home. This was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where I'm from originally. So
nice.
I don't know why it was there, but. So
I don't know why that feels like it makes sense, but it does.
It does make sense. As soon as I said Tulsa, Oklahoma, you're like, ah.
I was like, and I have no reference as to why. Maybe just because I think there's a tornado coming.
Maybe because of the weather.
Well, it's funny because we've been on this. Noel and I have been on a trip this entire week through Texas, and I keep telling people, we've gone through Houston, we've gone through Dallas, and now here we are in Austin at the end of the trip, and I keep telling people that I meet that I'm originally from Tulsa, as if they're gonna suddenly like embrace me more. And it has not worked at all. I keep saying I'm from Tulsa, and they're like, cool. And I'm like, I thought maybe you'd be like, oh, well, right up, just our neighbors up north. But I was like, no, it's like, all right. And I'm like, Come on.
I think you're too much stuck, and you'll understand this being a Texas graduate.
Yeah.
I think that Oklahoma and Texas, it doesn't matter.
They don't jive very well, but we should. We're all from the same region.
I know. It just it goes to my theory actually, which is I'm on the home turf, and that's where you don't have the commonality.
Yeah.
But if we were to meet in California or Florida, and we were to be cross paths and be like, I'm from Oklahoma, I'm from Texas, there would be like, oh, cool.
Yeah, you'd
but
find
because we're on the home turf, it's kind of like,
now you're a problem.
now I'm a problem.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Okie. Get out of here. I'm not really.
Stop saying you're from California. Yeah. Although not everybody in the other parts of Texas is glad that you're from California.
No,
either.
they are not. There was a little bit of opposition about this as well.
I mean, here in Texas, I'm born and raised Texan. Yeah, and there's just so much pride about our state. Yeah,
the flags, man.
Yeah, the flags.
The state flags.
Huge.
Yeah, the state flags
everywhere.
And they're massive, and they blow, and the wind all seems to blow majestically on every single flag in the state.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
You don't see the California flag everywhere like that. Like everywhere you go in Texas, the Texas flag flies proudly. Next to the American flag.
There is a certain definite pride about it. And, I mean, we all know what can be said about pride, right?
Yeah,
I think it's good to have pride.
Absolutely.
But, sometimes you can be a little too prideful. I think sometimes
gotta dial it back.
I think more of us need to check ourselves a little bit.
Before we wreck ourselves.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah. Don't wreck yourself.
Don't wreck yourself. Check yourself. Don't wreck yourself.
That's quality poetry you're quoting there.
Yeah, I know. So one of the most important things that I wanted to ask, so being in sustainability and green space and doing things that are environmentally conscious like this dairy free, so you're going to get a lot of support in a community like Austin. But have you had opposition from either Big Ice Cream, Big Dairy?
Oh, we know Big Ice Cream. Dryers is around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably got a hit out on you or something.
I've escaped death multiple times.
That's what I want to hear. Well, there's got to be. I'm right though. There's got to be a little bit of attention from the industry.
Are you actually making enough inroads that there's some
we have had the Nestle headquarter office years ago. We're still a fly on the radar.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine years ago we were a speck on the fly on the radar.
Yeah. Right.
And we had the Nestle R&D, like product development office, purchasing product directly off of our website.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they weren't even bashful about it. They're like, oh, we've been hearing about this thing. Like, let's buy some samples and taste it. And we actually sent the package, and we're like, I think our team was like, this is weird. Should we send it? And I'm like, send it to them. We'll even put a nice handwritten note in there. And so we sent it to them. So I mean, we've been on the radar for a long time, even longer than we probably should have. But I mean, there's people know who we are. We're doing it very with a lot of intention and. I think it's nice. It's flattering to know that as a small company like we still are today, to have the attention, even if just so that hopefully they can knock us off someday. We have their attention, and I think that's ultimately what we're trying to do. We want people to know who we are and what we're doing, and if we're getting attention like that, it means we're doing something right.
Well, and you see kind of a lot of these bigger companies are realizing that as opposed to like destroying the smaller companies, like you see in breweries, right?
Yeah.
So Budweiser, instead of trying to say, they know they can't compete in the microbrew specialty market. They know they can't. So they're just like, okay, we're going to buy Golden Road. We're going to buy them and let them keep going. Yeah. You keep doing what you're doing, and then we're just going to make some of the profit. And I wonder if something like that, if that isn't one of the reasons that Nestle was even buying the samples, was to be like, I wonder if we want to get in on this,
I mean, and I've always been one to never. I don't get excited about those things. Right. We, myself, our team, we're focused on what we're doing. We're focused on executing our plan. We're focused on growth. I try to not get caught up in any of that. If anything like that, ever did come to fruition, like we'll deal with it when they are serious and when they really want to talk. And
the bigger you are, the better.
Until then, And until then, we're not. For one, it's not what motivates us. That's not why. That's not why we wake up every morning and continue working. It's not, for the hopes of being acquired someday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we deal with things when they're real and when they're in front of us and when they deserve time to be worked on. That's kind of always been our
It does seem
approach.
like you're having fun. Like
I've been making ice cream for a living for over 13 years.
That's
amazing. Life is not bad. Very much to your Willy Wonka story. Like I do. Like there's a little bit of Willy Wonka in the work that we do, and if you get to meet more of our team members, everybody kind of rallies around the product and this really cool work that we get to do every day, making ice cream, sharing it with the customer and talking to them about it.
So cool.
That's our lives.
Yeah, it's neat. I mean, I know we feel like that. It's one of the neat things about doing good and then being able to do good for a living is a pretty amazing situation to be in.
It is.
So I imagine that you're probably going to want to continue that as long as possible.
I like to say, I'm still young. I think I think that energy, as long as you can continue to have fun, bring that energy to work every day. Some days it's harder than others, right? Like we all have to be real about that too.
Yeah.
But I love it, and I very proactively work on myself, my own health and wellness. I take care of what I'm eating. I take care of how I'm working out. I take care of my sleep. I indulge in time off and really enjoy vacations and hiking, and I'm constantly working on doing what I need to make sure that I can stay clear and continue to maintain the energy that it's going to take to continue to do this and to do it well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that's very great.
Yeah, I was going to say, besides, something like being acquired comes with a whole other problem of like people believing you sell out. You touched on it before, but since we've been in Texas,
real.
I wanted to say here's the this is a little bit of a tangent, but I promise you it has outforth. There is a brewery here.
I'm sorry, this tangent has gone on for too long.
Okay, sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry. No, we in Texas, since we've been here, there's a brewery. I think Carbach is the name of it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this has been hilarious.
Right?
On like 3 different occasions, I have been in a place where
that one guy at the bar.
Yes.
We went to this.
But it happened again. It happened again yesterday when we were in Dallas.
Oh my gosh.
So there's this beer, and I like to try different local beers. And so I was like, he's like, well, we got this, the Carbach, whatever, it's local. And this guy down the thing goes like, Carbach sucks, whatever. And you find out that the story is that like Carbach got bought by Budweiser, but to Noel's point, they're still making the same beer, but they got acquired. And then I'm literally at this place yesterday, and this guy sits down, local from Dallas, and he goes, well, and Carbach sucks now anyway, because they got all bought out. And I was like, it is so funny when you are an independent producer,
right?
That if you get acquired, then you have to deal with people being like a sellout. So it's great. It's almost a good thing to just keep doing what you're doing.
Here's that
was my tangent.
Here's how you can do it.
Yeah.
Just make it massive and buy them.
That's the plan.
I'd love to.
You buy Whole Foods.
That's exactly. I think it's been really great to see this movement of disruptive brands. And think of the Beyond Meats of the world and stuff. I'm sure the conversations that were going up at Beyond Meat before they decided to go public were very much like, are we going to be acquired? Are we going to continue taking more money from private equity to build? And is private equity going to play nice with us anymore?
That's true.
Or should we start thinking about public and really just opening ourselves up to really becoming bigger and bigger, and at some moment being just as big as Tyson or just as big as the other meat producers? And I think it's good to see these disruptive brands being even more bold. And really understanding that sometimes the best way to do it is just to go at them. Like, go at them.
Go hard.
Because once you're a piece of their larger ecosystem and they're really not, for instance, I'm not going to name the brand, but this has happened over and over again. A small brand gets acquired by one of the big food corporations.
Right.
Sure.
Now it's a tiny, tiny piece of their overall portfolio.
Right.
And the brand starts going to crap because it doesn't have the time or attention. It doesn't have the marketing support. It doesn't have all the things that it needs to really continue to grow and
somebody
to
needs to love it.
It needs some love. It needs some attention. And the big companies don't have that all. They don't have it figured out all that well all the time. And so I think that's a part of the fear. We at NadaMoo, we care about our brand. We care about the brand we build. We care about the future of it, even if someday it's not in our hands. And so, you have to go very mindfully into making those decisions to make sure that the brand is on the most stable ground and set for greater prosperity, as it continues to scale. And I think Big Food, too soon, they too readily assume that that they can just absorb this brand into their ecosystem and add all of this scale and efficiency to the operation, which they can. They're the kings of supply chain. They own all the things, all the raw materials, have a lot of control over supply chain. That's their value add. They can give you distribution, supply chain value. But where's the brand? Like the brand is what needs to. It's the soul. It's the soul and the heart of the company that was rising the ranks to be able to begin to continue to disrupt the space. And so it's tough. I mean, these are all things that we think about a lot. I certainly spend a lot of time thinking about it without putting too much time or energy, because there's a lot of work to just execute on. But those are great conversations.
There's also an aspect of like Ben and Jerry's, right? Like making.
Who's that now?
There's this tiny,
they're very small brand.
Where are they from? Where are they from?
I'm not sure. I feel probably Hawaii.
Hawaii. I thought it was Ukraine, but I can't remember.
It's either Ukraine or Hawaii. I don't remember
one
which
or the
one.
other. Yeah.
But like the idea of just like of going into your lab and making all sorts of different wild flavors. And the first thing when we came in here, we met Fez, right?
Yeah.
Fez, yeah. He's
and
great.
Fez was in the laboratory in the back, mixing up, specialty ice creams for the day to put in the freezer there. And I was just like, that is awesome.
It is.
Because that's another aspect of it that could be lost, is that whole idea of like, okay, we have vanilla. We got cookies and cream. We got this stuff. But if we're going to... It is, you got to expand the brand, but you also need somebody to care about, like, we're going to keep making something great. We're going to keep working on the next thing. We're going to keep trying to find a way to do this and do it better. Yeah. And that takes the love, too.
It takes love, There has to be, I mean, I use the word passion probably way too. It's probably the Latino in me, right? Like passion. Everything has to be done with passion. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's really important, and not only for me. Like, I can't be the only passionate person about this brand, right? Everybody who gets involved, every team member, every shareholder, every customer, like, we want them to exude that same passion for the brand, because that's what's going to drive us forward.
Absolutely. And doing good things. Yeah. It's really easy to get passionate about. Here we are in this crisis of energy and climate and everything, and there's got to be solutions, and you got to do it in a fun way. And what a great fun way to make delicious ice cream.
I know.
That's not making it more difficult for us to protect the environment.
And for those of you who love regular ice cream, don't worry.
Yeah, you can still have your ice cream.
It's still there. There's plenty of it out there. This is just something else. This is something else to take a look at and to try out, which is really what we do on this podcast, is to give you something else to consider, something else to try. Yeah. And I can tell you, Jacob, wholeheartedly, and you're going to try it.
I'm going to try now.
It's you will not be disappointed. It's actually surprisingly great. Yeah, it really is. I really enjoyed it. So well done, bravo.
Well done, Daniel.
Yeah.
Well, is there any closing thoughts? We've done it, man. We've ran the.
We run out of time.
Yeah, we've run out of time.
Okay.
It's time to wrap up. He's got a busy day. We got a busy day.
Is there anywhere you want to anywhere that you want to send our audience, or a place they can find? I mean, they can just go to Whole Foods, or are there other places?
Yeah, you can go to Whole Foods. So I mean, I like to send people to our website, www.nadamoo.com. Okay. We have a where to buy page. You put in your zip code, it'll tell you the stores nearest you where you can go purchase it. Okay. We'd love to have you in our scoop shop here in Austin. If you're ever traveling to Austin, if you live here, if you want to drive here tomorrow, like
road trip.
We'd love to have people in our shop.
It's a cool scoop shop too. When you walk in, is that you feel the old style ice cream shop.
And I love the little tables on the side. Yeah. I love those little tables.
Those benches.
Those benches.
Yeah, they're pretty funky.
Yeah, so funky.
And I think too, in this age of direct to consumer, we've really gotten our e-commerce business off the ground, and for the people who would rather let a package show up on their doorstep, we ship direct to consumer, direct to direct to people's doors, and you can pick from any and all flavors that are on our website, and you can make your own 5-pack, make your own 9-pack. Wow. And it'll very conveniently be dropped there at your door. We just launched our pumpkin pie flavor seasonal, for all you pumpkin fans. Yeah. We just launched that yesterday, so that's our big new thing. And that you can find that in Whole Food stores nationwide, and some of our other key retail partners. So
I like that pumpkin flavor, and I don't usually like pumpkin flavors, but it was a good mix.
I want to try some. I like pumpkin flavors. Yeah, I'm basic. Yes. I like pumpkin. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get you some vanilla, and we'll get you some pumpkin with it too.
A little bit of awesome flavor for you.
Thank you for my awesome flavor. I love it. Well, Daniel, this has been awesome. Yeah. So sorry.
No, I was just say to the audience again. We've talked in many podcasts in the past about the. Our design, like we actually love farming. There's good ways to do farming. There's a lot of great. We've talked to some great people out there who are doing a good job with them. But we do need to have less cows.
Yes,
it's actually a bit of a problem. Yeah, it should be more free range, and it should be a little easier for cows to just kind of live their life in the whole farming experience.
Yeah, through like let them live out their days, right? Like the rest of us get to do.
Exactly,
right? Like that's kind of. I think that's a big part of the movement too. Is just really appreciating that animals, they should be allowed to live their lives too from start to finish. Yeah. Let nature impose itself on them anyway. Like they already have to fear nature every day. Right. They're predators and all that stuff. And so we need to be more mindful of the way that we're interacting.
Agreed.
With the planet,
and this is a great way to help do that, right? Because if we're gonna get to a point where we can have a really sustainable situation for farming, we're gonna have to start making some of these other solutions get a little bit bigger. Yeah. And this is a really great one. I'm really happy we found you. I'm really thank you for coming onto our show and for talking about NadaMoo and ice cream, and for feeding us and for showing us around. It was a really great site.
Absolutely, would love to do it more whenever y'all find yourselves in the area.
Oh, awesome. And definitely if you're out West Coast, come see us sometime.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll do a follow up.
All right,
should we do our ridiculous tags?
Let's do our tags with him right here watching us.
Well, it's not like we can ask him to leave.
Yeah, can you turn around that way, Daniel? No, we're going to do it. We are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Carefully avoiding neonicotinoids.
We are the Siegfried and Roy and Meryl Streep of podcasts.
This show is a joke.
Never believe.
Step 1... I forgot again.
Come on, we're in an ice cream place.
Step 1, chill out.
Spilling the teeth since 2019.
Technically perfect. Although today I don't know if we're technically perfect. This is our first day trying to do the remote new microphones and everything.
It might have a different sound to it.
We'll probably send it to Tim.
Yeah, and say, hey, can you clean it up?
Yes, our audio guy. Good old days.
Like, hey, help us with this a little bit. Yeah. But anyway.
But thank you all for listening.
Guys.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, check out NadaMoo.
Check out NadaMoo, www.nadamoo.com.
Yeah. And
no exclamation point on that, I'm assuming.
No exclamation point. No exclamation point there.
No exclamation point.
But imagine the exclamation point. Yeah.
And then that's it. Ready?
All right.
Cheerio. There we go.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.